Well, hey there, Facebookers. Hey there, Instagrammers. Welcome to Design Tuesday. I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the Interior Design Advocate. And no matter what is happening here in our very busy design studio, we put a pin in it and we decide to come out here and talk to you about what's going on in your design life. And today has been a crazy day here at the design studio. We are designing, we're delivering furniture, it's pouring, cats and dogs out there, we're voting, we're blogging, we're solving design problems, we're fixing design dilemmas for people, we're handling furniture problems. But anyway, it's so good here to be here with you. We are here every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we always teach about a topic, talk about a topic. Making me the royal we, and then I take your questions on that topic. It might be difficult for you to put in questions about today's topic, but it's a topic you wanted to hear about. So you can ask me questions about the topic. If I can answer, I will. And certainly you can definitely put in questions about your own design project if you would prefer as well, once I'm done with my little mini lesson. And I would love to invite you to check out a great case study that we just posted a link to that we did recently that shows gorgeous design results done by real women like you. These are not trained designers. These are women who love design and want beautiful homes, weren't getting the results that they wanted, and then they really turned things around thanks to our products. And I'm so proud, like a proud mama there. So we just posted that link as well. So let's talk about today's topic. What aren't they telling you on the design shows on TV? You know, TV land is all fairies and rainbows and, you know, daisies, everything's happy and easy. Well, it's not quite that way in the design world in real life when you're out in the trenches. So what aren't they telling you on TV? Well, a couple of things. First of all, I think you maybe figured this one out. Hopefully you have time. Time in TV land versus design time and renovation time in your life, two very different things. You gotta love a good editing bay because that's where you take all the raw footage, you slice out and splice out all of the not fun things, and then you just piece it all together in one great swipe, before and after. Look at this great thing we did in 25 minutes, less commercials. So time is pretty warped, but not just the fact that things are edited down to a 25-minute or 23-minute episode when you also factor in your commercials. But have you ever seen a design show where they have, it's called the Chiron, it's a lower third, it's writing at the bottom of a screen, you know, 12 a.m. or Sunday morning. You see all these wacky times of day when people are working. Well, let me tell you something. In the real world, you're an interior designer or your builder or your subcontractor, like you, they have families. So they are not designing after hours and on weekends. They're not building after hours and on weekends. The only time that is done in the professional construction world is when, by contract, a builder is behind on a delivery date and he or she has to make up some ground. So now that builder is now losing money by paying people time and a half to have them work after hours and on weekends. So when you see that happening on TV, that's not really real world. Your crews are not going to be working for you round the clock or on weekends. You've got to take a number, wait in line. They'll start your project when they can start your project. And they're going to start at 8:30 in the morning for a building crew, maybe 8 in the morning, and they might wrap at 4:30. A lot of builders, because it's such backbreaking work, particularly if you're talking about a mid-size or small-size building group, a lot of them will knock off by about 4 p.m. because they like to get in early, and then their bodies start to feel kind of worn and torn. So the sense of time on TV, definitely not fully taken into account, which means that on the design consumer end, people sometimes are surprised when they engage a design company like ours and they say, oh my gosh, how long is it going to take for us to go from start to finish? One home we're working on right now, we've been designing for 18 months. It's that big a home and we're waiting for so much furniture to come in. Other projects, 6 months, totally normal for a few rooms of furniture to be designed and come in when you're talking about custom. You don't see all that on TV, do you? So something else you don't see, we talked about the time factor in general and staff time, cost. To get on TV, to put yourself out there as a possible, TV name and what that could mean to your company, people get really hungry to do that. So that means that very often they will discount their services quite a bit. So things get done a little bit longer into the day, deeper into the day, and also not at full rate. So you're not always given the exact cost in terms of labor, what things really might cost if this wasn't being done on TV and people weren't anxious to get their business exposed to TV. And certainly retailers and vendors and manufacturers will sometimes donate product because they want to be able to say this episode was sponsored by blah, 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 blah. So nobody was paying for that lumber or that refrigerator, right? Or they're paying at a discounted cost. So just know that in TV land, it's all daisies and fairies and rainbows. So it's not exactly a real world look at what you should expect when you're designing and renovating at your home. And then the last couple of things I'd ask you to think about when you're watching these really fun shows. There are a couple on Bravo that I love, a couple on HGTV I love, really pretty much Bravo. But anyway, so sometimes the advice can be kind of idiosyncratic, right? It's very specific to the home that it's in, and it doesn't necessarily translate across the e-waves or the television waves to you. And sometimes it's just kind of super idiosyncratic, like almost like a craft gone wild sort of idea. I remember years ago seeing on one of the TV shows, I think it was on HGTV, but I don't remember, it might have been Bravo. There was a designer that was working on a really tight budget, and they created a sideboard in a dining room made out of stacked milk crates. They put a board across the top, they draped a cloth over it, and that was the sideboard. And the family they designed for had small children. And all I could think about was when my children were young, I mean, the little, push toys that they had and the push carts, all I could think about when I saw that odd, low cost idea was, jeepers, that might make great TV, but a little child could really get hurt with something like that, or somebody who loses their balance and falls into something. So you got to be careful about some of these. It's a great idea, but not really applicable to real life, right? So watch out for some of that more idiosyncratic stuff. And then the complaints I've heard from you and my design students about the TV shows is that you really don't get the how-to. You get the before, you get the after, and then you get a real quick, edited, watered-down version of how it all came together. And there simply isn't the time to really take you through the process. For example, I remember a couple of years ago in a master bathroom renovation I was working on. It was not a giant master bathroom, but there's this big burly builder standing in there with me, and his electrician was there as well, and I was there, and one of my assistants was there, and we stood there for about an hour trying to troubleshoot and figure out how to move some electrical out of the way so that we weren't interrupting a tile flourish we wanted to do. And it was challenging because all of the existing HVAC and piping that was in the walls. So when we were all done, one of us said, gosh, do you think a client really would know that the four of us, were standing in their bathroom for an hour and 10 minutes trying to solve where to move an outlet? So try translating that into an interesting 23-minute TV episode. You just can't do it. So just know that on TV, keep watching those shows. They're fun, they're entertaining, they're infotaining, right? You get a little bit of information as well. But in terms of being able to really move you from point A to point B to point Z at the end, there's only so much that they can do. And they have to keep it entertaining. So I do hope you'll take a look at the case study blog post that we just put up, because in that I highlight real results, gorgeous results that some of our students are getting using our products. Real women just like you, they're not trained designers, and they are doing beautiful things in their home using strategy, and that's usually what's missing from the TV shows. So I see some questions are coming in, so I'm going to scooch on in and take some of those questions. All righty then. So hello to everybody who's sending me their hellos, and hello to everybody out there who is sending their hellos. Okay, so let me see. Questions. Wendy wants to know, hi, are the renovation budgets accurate on HGTV, such as a kitchen reno for $30,000 to $45,000? Wendy, that is such a great question. About 2 years ago, a client of ours hired us to do a small white kitchen in a home that he had purchased for his elderly mom. Beautiful, beautiful woman. It was a small kitchen. I'm going to say this kitchen was probably, what do you think? What do you think that kitchen was? About 15 by 15,
Yeah.
15 by 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a little smaller.
Okay. Probably like 15 by 14 kitchen, all in with appliances. Okay. And the appliances, it was a refrigerator and a stove, nothing fancy, no, dual oven. That kitchen landed, small kitchen, at $35,000. There were not a lot of interesting things going on inside the cabinetry. It wasn't automatic closed doors. It wasn't a lot of pull-out shelves. All that stuff starts to add up. It was, again, a basic white kitchen. Usually those basic white kitchens are the easiest ones to land at the lowest cost. So Wendy, I don't know how big your kitchen is, but we were working on a large kitchen. In fact, we just put together a blog post on it. We knew that if we ripped out the cabinetry, we knew that the cabinetry alone, because it was a big kitchen, probably about 20 by, I don't know, what do you think the Matta's kitchen was? Like 20 by 17? Yes. Big kitchen. We knew we would have a cabinetry budget alone of about 35 to 40 to 60 in there, depending upon what they picked out. So we actually chose to recolor everything. And I think that landed in a two finish coloration, landed at about $17,000. But we didn't have to replace the appliances and so forth. So Wendy, hopefully that gives you a quick estimation. So a small kitchen, depending upon what you do to it, 35 to 45. If it's small and you don't put in all the bells and whistles and with the interior of your cabinets, and control yourself on the backsplash and control yourself on the material you're putting on your counters, no marble on those counters, you might be able to do a small kitchen, certainly in that 35 to 45 area. Okay, hopefully that helps you. It's, that question, Wendy, is almost like saying, hey, what does it cost to eat dinner out? Well, I don't know. Are you going to go to the Dunkin' Donuts and get a bagel and coffee for dinner? Or do you want to force, a 4-course dinner at a 5-star restaurant? So hopefully I answered you, Wendy. I think the budget sound a little low to me, but it depends upon the size of the kitchen. Small kitchen, I bless it, not that budget. Karen is saying, greetings. Well, greetings to you too, Karen. Karen wants to know, what is the best way to start designing when you are a real amateur? Thanks for doing this live session. Oh, Karen, you're such a doll. Well, we're here every Tuesday, Karen, so I hope you are too. All right, listen, Karen, here's the story. I haven't met you yet, so I don't know if you are the woman that just goes out and plans a trip to, I don't know, maybe you're going to go across country. And if you plan that trip, do you just dive in and do it, or do you do some research first? There are people who do more research on their trip to Disney than they do on how to spend thousands of dollars in their home to just decorate a few rooms, right? Or one room. So Karen, what I'm going to tell you is you need some design education, you need strategy, all of the one-off ideas on Instagram and blog posts and Facebook and the magazines and HGTV and Bravo and all the design shows. These one-off ideas get you into this kind of design, overload, and then you get a lot of nothing done and you start making really bad, disparate decisions, a rug here, a chair there, and then 2 years later you regret the rug that you bought because now you want to add a sofa and it doesn't work. You're not, moving in the same direction. You're kind of going out and getting off tangent in your design choices. So you need some design education. I'd love to invite you to our website, theinteriordesignadvocate.com. You need the word "the" in there, theinteriordesignadvocate.com. Check out our products. Or Karen, you can tune in for the Facebook Live next week because we're making a Black Friday announcement. It's a pre-Black Friday pre-announcement, but there will be something fun happening for Black Friday at the Interior Design Advocate, so you can get some design education. So that's the best thing I can tell you, Karen. Do not jump into the design waters without knowing what you're doing because it'll cost you, and it'll cost you big. And I get called in as a designer, as a professional designer, I get called into people's homes after they've made the mistakes and they've spent the money, and we're trying to kind of band-aid things into the direction where they really want to go. So hopefully that helps you, Karen. It's kind of a generic answer, but it's a big question you asked. All righty, so Wendy's saying, thank you. You are welcome, Wendy. Wendy is saying, too, that she's going to be remodeling her main bath soon. Clear glass showers still going to be around for a while? Oh, you bet. They are. I'm going to recommend, if you have a clear glass shower, make your life easy. Buy a squeegee. So when you're all cute and naked in there, once you're done with your shower, you can just squeegee down your glass on the inside. It will be so much easier to maintain that shower, so much easier, rather than waiting and doing your cleaning, whenever when you're doing it. But yes, glass absolutely in. Linda, do you think that the TV show costs include the cost of designing services? I really don't. Definitely not. There's a big fingerprint on this. You know what? And get a tissue. Design costs are in the thousands of dollars for one room. So no, I don't think those design costs are accurate. Like I said, to get on TV, and to get a company or brand name on TV, people will, definitely discount their services, waive their service fees. I have a colleague in Seattle who was on a TV show, did not get paid rate, not even remotely. Perhaps because not that anybody wants me on TV, but because I worked in television in front of the camera, I have zero desire to be on TV because I know what a grueling schedule it is and you lose your whole personal life. But there are people who want to be on TV because they think, it'll build a platform and they can become a star, or they can, turn that into some monetization somehow. So they'll really discount their costs, their fees, so that they can be on TV. So great question. I do not see at all. In fact, when Wendy asked me what did that kitchen cost, the small kitchen we did that we thought landed at about $35, that did not include design fees from our company. So great question, Linda. Linda, you get like the high five on just great questions so far. Wendy is asking another question. What type of organization tool do you like best when you're working on a large project? OneNote? I like OneNote. I'm also a binder person. I am. You should see we've got binders for every client gets a binder. Big projects get multiple binders. There's there's a whole binder on a budget for one big project. There's then binders for all the space plans. I like doing on a small project like a couple of rooms, or the first floor of a home. I like a binder that has sections in it for contracts and bids, for each room, schedules. A contact sheet, I think, is really important so that you can organize your team that way. I think Dropbox is great for exchanging information quickly with your team. And if you are a subcontractor and you're watching this, don't throw anything at the computer screen right now, because I love you. I love my contractors, my subs. But not all subcontractors love being electronic. Because a lot of, especially if you're dealing with a small to mid-sized building company, the guys, they're out in the field working. And I've seen them, take a note. They've got their phone in their ear and they're writing on a 2x4, or writing on a wall, as opposed to, putting it into their phone. So you may find that hard copy as well as electronic is the way to go. Oh, and you know what else I like? There's a free downloadable app on your phone called Jing, J-I-N-G. And it's great because you could share your screen, open up Jing, and you can record something to your builder and say, hi, Max, I just want to, or Maxine, I just want to show, took a picture of what I saw you working on today, just got home from work. And then with your arrow, you can point and say, I don't like this piece of the plot, blah, 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 but I love what you did here. And I'm wondering if we can take that blah, 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 that I have over here on the screen and add it to the yada, yada. So using Jing, you can do verbal information and visual information at the same time, or, send a Jing to your cabinet maker and say, hey, I love this, this drawing you gave me with this lower stretch of cabinetry, but I don't really love what you're doing on the uppers right now. Jing is great. It limits you to 5 minutes of airtime, but, really, what do you want to send a movie? 5 minutes should be plenty of time to be able to exchange information. So hopefully, Wendy, that is helpful to you. Cindy wants to know, Katie's telling me final 2 questions because we've got more work to do. We lost some time here because of a crazy furniture installation in the rain, and also we got out to vote. So I hope you guys are going out and voting as well, if you haven't already. So 2 more questions. Jennifer is asking, speaking of showers, that's good, Jennifer, nice smooth flow. Solid surface, V-tile on shower floor. My tile floor cracked. It's 20 years old. Contractor says, given that they all crack, and suggests a Corian-like floor. For showers, I really like, I really like small tile on the floor in showers because you get a lot of grout lines, and that really helps with slipperiness. I like to keep you healthy, safe, and upright in the shower. So I love large field tile, but I love doing that for the right homeowner, the right family. I love doing that, on the main floor of the bath, or on the walls. But I kind of like a smaller tile. I'll do 1x1s or something small, even a small hex or something, so I get a lot of grout lines. So that's kind of where I prefer to be, Jennifer. Last question because of time. Oh, pardon me, Steve Hoffman, Mr. Hoffman, I'm married to Mr. Hoffman, is telling me that Jing is for computers, not phones. I said it was a free app, so I said that wrong. Big surprise that I got a tech thing wrong. Jing is for computers, so please note. And the app, Debbie wants to know, it's Jing. It's really not an app. What is it, a program?
Computer program.
It's a computer thing. It's a computer program. Free downloadable thing called Jing for your computer, Debbie. All right, so my last question is coming from Seema. What is the kitchen trend in terms of countertops, cabinets, sink, floor, and backsplash? Need to remodel my kitchen. Seema, baby cakes. How much time do you have? All right, listen, I'm going to say this. Do we have a good blog post we can send Seema to that we did recently on kitchen trends? Nobody can think of one quickly. That was a really awful, mean question for me to ask my team like that. All right, Seema, so here's the story. I don't think white kitchens are going away anytime soon, although in some of the luxury projects we're working on, people are saying, hey, can you do something for me other than a white kitchen? Because they're seeing a lot of white kitchens out there, and they're looking for something a little different, a little signature. But I still see them out there. However, at the design show houses, I'm not seeing white kitchens. What am I seeing? I'm still seeing painted cabinetry, still seeing grays, seeing some black painted cabinetry, like in a high gloss, really gorgeous. Not surprising, goes well with white, so you can mix the white cabinetry with the black counter. We're still seeing some, definitely still seeing some two coloration, a white with a bit of a glaze, just to have a little bit of pickup there as well. I don't think the purists and the traditionalists will ever get away from stained cabinetry entirely, but we're seeing the bigger trend still seems to be some painted and some stained cabinetry. So maybe your perimeter is painted and then you've got a stained island. In terms of backsplashes, still seeing subway tile in every iteration you can imagine. It's horizontal, it's vertical, it's big, it's small. We just did some subway in a herringbone lay-in to try to do something a little different with it. So you'll see chevrons and herringbones and some different lay-ins. Just make sure if you're doing that, you're aware of what that might do to your project costs as you drive up labor and you start doing those kinds of things. If you're, depending upon how tricky it might be in your particular kitchen to do that kind of lay-in. So check in with your subcontractor, see if that's going to add a lot in terms of labor. Floors are everywhere. Still seeing a lot of woods on the floor in kitchens. It makes her real comfortable, something on the knees. And then sinks, undermount, farmhouse in the right environment. But Seema, unless you're selling your house in under 6 years, rather than worrying about the trends, I'd love to encourage you to pull pictures of kitchens that you love and start noticing what you're attracted to. What do you keep pulling over and over in terms of counters and cabinets and so forth, and see where your cravings are taking you, okay? All right, my lovelies. Well, listen, we got a scooch. We've got some design work we still have to hit here at the design studio. Next week, we're going to be talking about, oh, this is a good one. We're talking about dining room design and what you can do, quick fixes for the holiday season. So if you are about to do your dining room for next year, or you are doing your dining room, or you just need some fast help, by all means, tune in here on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Hey, give us a follow, by all means, on Instagram at decorating.genius. That's at decorating.genius to give us a follow. And definitely take a look at that blog post that we just posted, the case study. It has a really long name, something like how to get those Pinterest beautiful results without hassle, or I don't know what, some very long name. But basically, it's me bragging about my students and what they are doing. These are real women just like you. These are not trained designers, and they are doing gorgeous things. I'm so proud of them. All right, lovelies, listen, have a great night. We're going to try to wring ourselves out. It's so wet and damp here. Big hug to everybody, and I'll see you this coming Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, and we'll talk about dining room design and some quick fixes for you. Take care. Bye-bye.